Well, hey folks. I'm going to do a little presentation on some amazing concretions and rainbows that I found here at the Oregon coast. I discovered these crazy, basically balls, rock balls in the rocks, and talked to one of my other friends, Tony, at Coffee House Theology, and he said, hey, you need to check out MUDFOSSIL University and check out Roger over there. Go watch his stuff, he told me. And so that's how I found Roger, was by finding these at the coast and starting to look into them. And I think these are pretty amazing. They all seem to have this middle part that seems to be a different material. And I believe that Roger would say, oops, I'm not trying to compare. Okay. My computer just did update, so it's trying to give me information here, I think. But anyways, yeah, there's two different beaches here, and I think what he would say is these are like basically the round part within the cell. Like, I think it's the nucleus, or each of them have these little round, each cell, and everything around it, you know, kind of disintegrates away, but that part is like this different material, so it stays. And it's really weird because these lines like this, you can see them from the sky, and it almost looks like a wall, but if you think about cellular structure, how they lay themselves out in rows like this, and you'd see down this row, they would all be like the same shape. These are sort of oblongated, and you could see they were all the way down, obligated all the way down on this row. But here, back a little bit, these were smaller ones. And even back here, you know, they just had different size, but they were all very similar size balls in one row. And this is just the beginning here of the really cool stuff we found at this beach. Now, this beach is called Whiskey Run. Just in case you are watching this, Roger, this is Whiskey Run Beach in Coos Bay, Oregon, or it might be actually technically banned in Oregon. But I was hoping you could take a look at it from the sky, and even if you search for a topographical map of Coos Bay. I also looked at a topographical map thinking if this was, you know, a great beast, then maybe the topographical map would show us some kind of outline. You know, and I really don't know. The other beach that has these concretions on it is called Shore Acres. So those are the two areas, beaches that really, oh, and above this, just so you know, because there's kind of this really tall shelf here along this whole beach that you can walk along, and I think it's about a 1/4 mile long to this point right here from the Whiskey Run Beach parking lot. It's about a 1/2 mile long, and all the way along is this kind of shelf up here where it's a abandoned golf course. And in the alternative, you know, history community, they always say that parks and golf courses are hiding a lot of our ancient and, you know, true history. So, just FYI. And, yeah, a little bit closer look at these things. There's just like lots of rows. These are all Just rows and rows. Tons of 90-degree angles of things like laid out, very structured looking, with balls all through them. You know, I mean, I could just see that this was like something just falling apart. It's, I don't know. Here's some pretty cool pictures. Look at that. And even these pieces out in the ocean right here were very 90-degree angle looking. I mean, I thought they were walls initially. I actually thought this was like a buried castle or like a buried old star fort or something. That's what originally brought me out here, was it just looked like an old structure. There was all of these like, looked like old walls from the sky. Oops. My computer just updated, so it's got like new features I'm trying to figure out here. Oh, this is so naughty. I can't believe I took this picture, but I couldn't help it. Oh, whoops. Sorry, not trying to compare. Okay. Yeah, look at all these ones. This was a cool picture. Just everywhere. It was really crazy. And then look at this part. I mean, this to me, I was just like, this has got to be a melted building. Because I hadn't even heard about, I hadn't really heard about your theory, Roger, or Roger's theory about it possibly being biological. But, I mean, I think what I was thinking was that these balls may have been actual weaponry, which I've seen some really cool videos recently done. Oh gosh, who was it that just did a video on the electromagnetic cannon? I think it was Paul Cook, and has just some of the most amazing pictures of old cannons, and it just looked like it would like melted something. I mean, look at how it just looks like something just, this was soft at one point. It really does look like it was soft at one point. I don't know what all of this is. But this is the most prominent and tallest rock. In fact, if you look on the Google Earth, what do they call this? I can find it here. Hold on. Get you small. Get you small. And where's Google Earth? Where's the Google Earth? I'll just show you really quick. Whiskey Run Beach. Okay. So here it is. See, here's the whole big old golf course. 5 Mile Point is what it calls it. But, yeah, see how it looked like? See, I thought it was like a old brick wall or something. From up here, it just looked like, I don't know. like it was an old structure maybe. And I believe that there's a hidden star fort here. I just think that there is, but maybe not. But there's definitely some hidden things here. This beach being one, and the other beach that has them is over here, Shore Acres. And this whole area here, Sunset Beach, I believe that something's being covered up all through here. So you see how this is all like kind of one line? One line. These lines go all the way through this whole miles and miles of coast. Go all the way through here, and you can see them coming up in here. And you can even see them right here in the bay, coming right up in here. This is actually how I found them. Initially was just coming down here to the bay. And I'll show you a little bit better. I bet a different tide would have a different, oops, not that. Not that. Well, maybe that is the best one that there is. What was that? 2004? That's not bad. Oh, wow. So over here, I found these lines, and what I discovered they were is poured concrete. It's just poured concrete over, and I thought, well, how strange to have poured concrete at the beach. And so when I came up to Google Earth, I noticed that they go straight across. And this, by the way, under here is a whole wildlife reserve or marine reserve. You can't even go scuba diving right there. But then when you zoom out, you see that these lines go all the way through all of this area. Look, it looks like something's been carved out here. And it's all in these lines in the same pattern. And look, it goes right through this island. And there's even a lighthouse right there. I think there's a lighthouse right there. Or no, maybe this is the lighthouse. Yep, Cape Arago Lighthouse right there. Okay, so look, and then look how the circular pattern of this. So this whole thing, these weird lines that I found here, look at how they end up going through miles of the coast. And, you know, I'm sure the geologist, in fact, one of my good friends had a whole, she did this whole geological tour with, I believe it was through the museum or the college. I can't remember, but it came with a whole pamphlet. She paid like all this money to go take this tour that went from Coos Bay and it went all the way down to Bandon and took you through the whole geological tour and told you all the reasons, you know, that the rocks were formed like this. But, you know, I just don't believe the narrative anymore and am pretty curious as to what's right beneath our feet. One of the other really amazing things, oh, this one came out great. Oh, look at my cute little kiddos. They're so cute. One of the things that was super crazy that I found out later after this trip was that there's these crazy thorn bushes that are all over covering this mountain. When you get out of the parking lot, there are these huge, massive green bushes, and they are so gnarly. Well, turns out that they're actually an invasive species that was brought over, and they are one of the most gnarliest thorn bushes that I've ever seen in my life. I didn't even realize that there was actually thorn bushes that looked like this. I thought they were like only in fairy tale books. I'll have to take some pictures next time I'm there, but they are insane. And so I just was blown away that here I am looking for old castles buried underground, old history, buried secret. And here they're covered with, what did they used to surround the old castles of old with? Thorny bushes, right? The irony. Look at all this stuff out here. They are definitely part of the same thing, as you can see the same balls that are everywhere. My kids. Little cuties. Ba-dum-ba-dum. We had a wonderful day at the beach. And really, you know, I could be wrong about all of this, which is fine. Oh, he was crying because he thought we left him. But it was so loud that day that he couldn't hear us. We were just right behind the rocks. And it was just so... It's so amazing to look at your world through the glasses of maybe we haven't learned everything. Maybe we haven't, you know, discovered everything. And let's go look for new treasures, you know? And here my daughter found a sweet little heart rock. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? She found a cute little heart rock. I just found it interesting how everything is in rows. Just rows and rows. Lots of shells. So, yeah, I think... Oh, I bet I did get the concretions from the other beach. Might as well put them in this video before I get to the rainbow part. Oh, here I was going to give you a little bit closer look of this area, because there seemed to be water coming out of this area. And, I mean, really, I don't know. I thought these were like possibly old brick stone walls or something. Old buried castle under here. Never know. But they seem to really break in these like rows. My little climber. Definitely looks like melted building to me. Oh man. And there was some great old logs on the beach that I just had to capture. Okay, so that is, I believe, the end of that day. And let me see if I can find... Oh yeah, here we go. So this one's at Shore Acres. And this one is like, it was really cool.
This one's gonna go. You don't think so?
Because they've eroded away and the water's come.
Yeah, well, there's water coming from up above, too. Oh, whoa, look at this one. Oh, my gosh. Whoa! Jeez.
Oh my god!
That's pretty cool.
Oh my god!
Pretty crazy, powerful ocean, huh?
Mom, see? This is amazing! Yes!
So much fun to go when it's storming here at the coast. There we get some great waves. And, you know, this one had a ton of these too. And we're really high up. And this whole area, I don't know. I just thought it totally looks melted here. And there was just, you know, all this row. But I don't know. Because, like, Roger talks about how there's that rust layer. And this had a whole rust layer that I thought was, like, maybe melted brick or something. Because this just looks totally melted to me. Although I will say that erosion does work this way when you have a little piece of rock that comes in here and the water comes and it stays in there when the water comes up and it swirls around in there and it erodes. So I know that that's at least the excuse or the mainstream story I've heard for these type of holes being eroded in rocks at the river. So, I mean, it's possible, you know, that erosion is playing a factor in how these are eroding and looking kind of like melted like this. But what's up with the balls everywhere? Seriously, what is up with the balls everywhere? Alright, let's look at some more of these. Oh, I really didn't get very many of them. Oh, but here's the edge. See, so this shows how this layer of like red at the top. And here's, see, here's the water that's coming from this direction. So, I don't know. Whoa. What the heck was that? Hold on, I just heard a big loud bang. That was crazy. I don't know. My daughter said somebody was cutting down a tree. It sounded like really loud. I thought it sounded like a gunshot. Or a boom. Some kind of boom. I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, so this is my little modern day treasure hunt. Oh, here we go. I did get a few more pictures here. Really cool. Every little area had like these little places, little pools you could bathe in. I think it would probably be therapeutic. Okay, so that is a wrap on the concretions portion. And now I'm going to present the rainbows. So the rainbows, rainbows, we have very rainbowy weather here. And this one day I caught what was like a multiple rainbow. It was like, it wasn't just one rainbow. Now, the picture, I feel like it doesn't even do it justice. So here we got, right, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then we have purple, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And I can almost make out, like, I feel like it is maybe another rainbow there. I mean, it was just like, I've never seen a rainbow be so, I've never seen a rainbow like this. And this rainbow was crazy. It was happening for, see, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3 different yellows. 3 rainbows. And then, okay, so it was in the same, and there was hours. This thing lasted for like hours in the sky. Here, I think this was one of my first pictures where I took it. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first picture. It was over here on the field, and it was like going across, and it wasn't like all through the sky the whole time. Mostly we could just see one part over here across the bay. But then, and see, that was over here where I zoomed in. But then you could see it, and it would go all the way across, and then, oops. And then it would go all the way across, and see, you can even see it here where it's like 1, 2, 3 rainbows. And I would see it all the way on this side, so I did see like the whole complete thing, but not at the same time, if that makes sense. Like there was one point where it was like just on this side and just on this side and not in the middle, and then it was just crazy. And then it kept going, and then I tried to get how many, because I mean it seriously looks like this thing's just like infinitum rainbow going on here. I mean, I was blown away, and we did smoke some weed, so me and my friend Randy, we were like going, is this really happening, or is this really happening, or was that some really good weed? But yeah, I took pictures of it, so it really was happening, but I couldn't really see it this well, but actually in the camera you can see that it's like, and it looks like they're getting smaller. Like this one, you can see this little hand is almost a whole width of a color, you know. But then once you get to the second rainbow, it's like times smaller, and then that one's really cool. I mean, to me, you know, the Holy Scriptures tell us that there's 7 different firmaments. You know, if our sun is within the 3rd or 4th firmament, and it's actually shining through, and this is something else that I think about rainbow science, because you know, the Psalms tell us that at the beginning there was just this great mist, and there was no rain until the floodwaters came, right? Well, that's when the rain came. And I always thought it was like the mist was how we got the rainbows, because if you do in a sprinkler and put a mist up, you can get a rainbow. But I feel like it's the mist, because the rainbow didn't arrive till after the rain drops. Like, it actually needed the actual water moisture in the air to be like a curtain for it to for like I don't know, like it needed that as its projector screen, basically, like the actual water in the sky. I don't know. very interesting. The rainbow just blows my mind. It was one of the first questions, or I guess pieces of information that I learned possibly could prove the flat Earth that I was sort of compelled by. I was like, that's actually a very interesting, because the first thing I heard was like that a rainbow goes through in the same shape of the crystalline object that it's going through. And so, yeah, it must be going through a dome-shaped thing for it to be dome-shaped. And look at how cool this picture came out with the birds. This is seriously like the coolest literal set of pictures. I want to try to get a hold of these guys at the Yaznak and say, hey, I took some cool pictures. So they might appreciate them because I've never seen such a cool rainbow in my life. Yeah, so this was not a double rainbow because, I will show you here in a moment, that it manifests a double rainbow as well. Dun, 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 dun. I was trying different exposures so I could try to get... Okay, so here you can finally see the double rainbow. Bam! And it's the inverted one, right? So that's how you know it's a double rainbow. Is it's a reflection, right? Which is likely off of the waters above us. There you can see the double rainbow even better there. But yeah, and then here's the one point where we almost saw a full rainbow. Not quite, but most of it. It was pretty epic. Whoops. I also saw a rainbow just the other day. I had never in my life seen a rainbow in these conditions. There was not a scratch of blue sky to be seen and not a ray of sun to be seen. It was all gray sky. And there was this freaking neon rainbow that came shining straight down. And I didn't have my camera with me. I was really bummed, but yeah, it was quite mind-blowing. And then there was another rainbow the day that I got my flat earth proof, which was over here seeing down the bay for over 6 miles. I could see along the bay.
All right, this is where we're actually going to walk down this pier here because the sign says that there's no foot traffic. But I wanted to show you this pretty rainbow. I love seeing.
Yep, so we get lots of rainbows here at the coast, and it's pretty exciting. So I wanted to share them with you. Thanks for tuning in, and if you want to come stay in Coos Bay, I have an adorable little trailer that is available on Airbnb, and it features my custom tie-dyed in the bedroom quilts, and it's just a great little place to stay. Bring your toys and your quads and go to the beach, or come let me show you how flat the earth is. So anyways, may the favor of the Lord be upon you in all the things you do. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.